Hi guys, welcome back to Spice Channel TV. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, has reacted to an alleged plot to unseat President Bola Tinubu during the 2027 elections. The former Zamfara state governor stated this while reacting to the visit by the PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential elections, Atiku Abubakar, the former Kaduna state governor, El-Rufai, and the former PDP chairman, Ali Mudu Sherif, to Daura, residence of the former President Muhammad Buhari. And political analysts and observers have described these visits as a sign of an ongoing plot by the North against President Bola Tinubu during the next general elections. And speaking through the spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense, Matawalle described those behind the alleged plot as unpatriotic politicians in the northern region. He accused such politicians of lacking grassroots support and having an entitlement mentality. He asserted that northern politicians with strong base firmly support President Bola Tinubu. The minister expressed confidence about the alleged plot and how it would fail, citing the region's substantial benefits under Tinubu's leadership. Matawalle highlighted key appointments of Northerners in Tinubu's government, including his own role as Minister of State for Defense, also Mohammed Abubakar as the Minister of Defense, Atiku as the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Mohammed Idris as Minister of Information and National Orientation, Ali Pati as Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Abubakar Kari as Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, others. So, in terms of the security sector, Matawalle had mentioned the National Security Advisor and the Director General of the Department of the Security Service, DSS, Yusuf Buchi, and the DG of the National Intelligence Agency, El-Rufai, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the Chief of Air Staff, Hassan Abubakar, with the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mali Kari, and the Managing Director of the Nigerian Port Authority, Bello Koko, also being Northerners. So, Matawalle has urged Northern political elites to support Tinubu to further his renewed hope agenda and to improve the country's economic policies. So guys, this is quite interesting. I mean, it's one thing for politicians to think about elections, and it is another to fulfill all their campaign promises. When before Tinubu came into power, before the 2023 presidential elections, Tinubu came with his own ideology, the Renewed Hope agenda. Tinubu had put some strategies in place to make sure he won the elections. And now the elections are over. Now implement your strategies, implement your ideologies, the plans you have for Nigerians, put them at play so we can see what you want, what you have to offer. But nothing has been done. So if the president, Bola Tinubu, really has done well, I believe the northern politicians will not be scheming to remove him ahead of 2027. If Tinubu is doing well, these northern politicians wouldn't have been thinking of plotting to remove him. No, they won't. Now, Matawalle talking about the appointment given to the northerners so far, is that all that matters? Is that all that matters? The appointment given to northerners, the National Security Advisor, the National Chief of Defense, and all of that. Okay, now that these appointments are given to northerners, how far? I mean, when we talk of the security aspect of our country, we cannot boast of it. Look at the insecurity. Insecurity is still going on. Go to the northern region. Despite that one of their own is in power, I mean, as a Minister of Defense, yet we are not even, going off from the problems of insecurity. The North is still struggling with insecurity, despite having one of their own. So, how is all this the concern of Nigerians? Because this doesn't concern Nigerians in any way. It doesn't concern Nigerians. All this game of politics here and there. It's only for politicians. So this is just like a little piece of advice from Matawalle, who has told Atiku, El-Rufai and others that it will be unpatriotic to plot against Tinubu. You see the kind of statements they are making. They are not even talking about the welfare of Nigerians. They are not talking about the welfare of the masses. I mean, this is how politicians tend to use us. And then at the end of the day, who are suffering? We are the ones suffering. They are not the ones suffering, no. Because at the end of the elections, they go back to their houses, they get into power, and that is the end. All the promises, nothing. And that is how they've been using Nigerians for years. And the next electionary period, maybe during 2027, when we are gearing up for the 2027 elections, these politicians will still come again. They will bring, bags of rice, oil, and foodstuffs, share to people, give them money, and people will still go ahead and vote for them. This is how, in fact, this is how Nigeria has been. That's why the politicians keeps on using us again and again and again. So I believe if Tinubu, has done well, if Tinubu has been doing well ever since he came into power, I believe these northern politicians wouldn't have been plotting against him. But this shows that Tinubu is not doing well. His policies seems to be anti-people policies, and it is even affecting themselves. So they've decided to seize this opportunity. This is more like an opportunity, because had it been Tinubu was doing well, or had it been Tinubu is doing well, they wouldn't have think of this plan. They wouldn't have think of concocting this kind of plan. But they've seen that the president has failed woefully, and they want to seize this opportunity for themselves. Yes, despite I know that this plan of the Northerners is a selfish plan. It is a selfish plan that will benefit them. They are only looking out for themselves. But then, this is it. This is politics for you. So anyhow they want to play it, that is their own business. I mean, that is their business. But then it's left for Nigerians to decide what they want ahead of 2027. But the talks of election, when we are yet to conclude with that of 2023, is worrisome. It's quite worrisome that all what our politicians can think about is election, election, election. And yet they are not talking about, developing the country, infrastructure, how to improve this nation. They only think about election. Nigerians are suffering. The people are hungry. This administration cannot focus on elevating the sufferings of the masses. But all they can think about is election and how they will win 2027. Like what Akpabio is saying when he endorsed Tinubu, saying that Tinubu will remain ahead of in fact, Tinubu will complete his 8-year tenure, his 8 years administration. So guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section. Thank you.